Hi everybody, Dan Illman here with some exciting news. DRF Formulator, the gold standard in past performance information, is now free, exclusively on DRF Bets. Join DRF Bets with the promo code WINNING, get a $250 first deposit match bonus, a $10 free bet, and free Formulator already uploaded to your account. Access Formulator's premium features, including sortable trainer stats, race replays, personalized trip notes, and lots more. Free Formulator, exclusively on DRF Bets. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, kicking off a 50-cent late pick four at Oaklawn Park on Arkansas Derby Saturday with a very important Kentucky Oak prep. It is the Grade 3 $600,000 fantasy. These 3-year-old fillies will traverse a mile and a 16th. And as we take a look at the field, Mike, what an opportunity for some unheralded filly to gain some very important Kentucky Oaks qualifying points, because not only is Secret Oath, the best 3-year-old filly at Oaklawn over the winter, are going to run against the boys in the Arkansas Derby later on Saturday, but the 5 Ida, the morning line favorite, is going to scratch. She came down with a temperature.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly opens this race up quite a bit, Dan. It feels like just about everybody in here still has a lot to prove, but it's a pretty good opportunity for someone.
Let's throw up the Timeform US Pace Projector. And friends, remember to head on over to timeformus.com. Once scratches are made official, Ida will be taken out. This Pace Projector will automatically update. As of right now, we are expecting a fast pace. Begin, the number 2, just went gate to wire in a maiden special weight. Ujiri was part of a hot pace battle in the Grade 3. Honeybee, Hearty Constitution, more of a stalker in my opinion, Mike. I think Ujiri's going to try to get to the lead and try to relax a bit.
Yeah, I can see that happening now. It's interesting the way the Pace Projector shook out before the scratch of Ida, because, personally, I thought the 5 Ida was definitely going to be on the lead here if she ran. She's not going to run. It makes it a little bit more difficult, in my opinion anyway, to figure out what's going to happen early in here. It could go this way, 7-8, with a 2 up there as well. But, I don't think any one of those horses, is necessarily a blazer. I don't know, Dan. The pace could be fast. I didn't think it had to be.
How about Magic Circle? This horse has been on the lead in her last 3 races, and I know she doesn't need the lead, but do you think they'll be aggressive with her first time, Steve Asmussen?
Yeah, you got to come out of there and try to get forward position with her too. You're right. She's another horse who could certainly make the lead here if they wanted it. I felt like of, all the more forward type horses in this race, she was the one who, is probably a little handier and doesn't necessarily need to be sent out of there, but she's going to be close.
The number 1 Dreamlith and Ramon Vasquez is hoping for a fast pace up front. She likes to come from off of it, as she did when she won the Grade 2 Goldenrod. Her final start as a 2-year-old at Churchill Downs, it was at this distance. She's only had 1 run this year. It was in the Rachel Alexandra. That was a pretty solid field she caught off of the bench that day, Mike. And I think with that race under her girth, you could project forward improvement, especially if the pace is fast.
Yeah, of course. That's what you have to hope for with her. She had a solid pace in that Rachel Alexandra in front of her, I thought. They just rated her early. They took a wide run around the turn, didn't really come close to contention in there, and wasn't a factor late, but maybe she just needed the race, Dan. I don't know. I could go either way on her. I guess we'll see what kind of price she is come post time before I decide whether I'm going to use her or not, because as a 2-year-old, I just thought she was okay. That Goldenrod, I know she's a Grade 2 winner at this distance, and it earned a solid figure. That's not my favorite race that I saw last year for the 2-year-old fillies.
In the Rachel Alexandra, she finished 2 spots behind Hidden Connection, who came back to give champion Echo Zulu all she could handle in last week's Fairground Oaks, running second with an 88 buyer. Begin scored 3rd time out, and perhaps most importantly, first time going long. She's by Gun Runner. It seems like they can all run. And let's watch Begin, who showed her stretch out speed from the start, made the lead, made a reasonable pace and a fair pace, and she's going well in the stretch.
Yeah, she went well throughout this race here, Dan. I thought she looked pretty good stretching out. You're going to see her, they're not going to threaten her late. She's not really going to finish that strong, and she's going to drift a little bit here in the very late stages. It's a little bit concerning to me. Especially since she was just basically loose on the lead in this race. I still thought she ran well, and I thought her first 2 starts were okay as well. She was the bigger price that I was most interested in.
A horse that's taking a huge step up in class is the number 3, I Feel the Need, who scored in a $50,000 maiden claiming race last time out, was taken out of that race. Let's watch the closing kick she put in on March the 6th, going this mile in the 16th distance. Now, as you see, They've already lined up 4 across the track, turning into the stretch. And these 4 horses are going to start to get tired. And I feel the needs, looking for some room, going to eventually find it, and eventually going to kick these horses down very nicely.
Yeah, she's going to get up at the end here. Everybody's struggling in front of her, and it just, basically falls into her lap a little bit. But she takes over and goes on. She made a similar sort of late run in her career debut, Dan, also against maiden claimers. So I guess we sort of figured out her running style. Doesn't have a lot of speed. She'll sit back, hope that pace projector is right, and hope that she can take advantage of it.
I think you could argue that the 4 Magic Circles getting some significant class relief. Look at the competition she faced when she was in New York last year. She was in against Echo Zulu, Gerrymander, Nest, Venti Valentine. These are legitimately good fillies, and Magic Circle held her own. Now, she couldn't beat those fillies, but when she got away from them, she won the Busanda going 1 1/8 very nicely, and I think this field compares more to the Busanda than some of the toughy spots she was in before and after.
That's how I feel about it too. I just think it's a good spot for her. Obviously she hasn't really run that fast race yet, and she's going to have to find a way to sort of break through if she wants to play at the top of this division. But I feel like she's run well in basically all of her starts. Her most recent race there in the Busher Den, that wasn't her best performance. And so that concerns me a little bit. I'm not sure why they decided to change trainers with her. Obviously, it's not a bad thing to go to Asmussen, but Rudy did a really good job with this horse. I don't know. I just think she's talented, and I think she's handy enough to get a trip in here.
The number 6, Mariah's Fortune, is trained by Brad Cox, and heck, maybe she could even be part of this pace picture as well. It looked like she went pretty fast on the lead in her first start of the year, battling with another horse down at the fairgrounds. She finished second that day. Her time before at Oaklawn over a wet track, she proved she handled this surface very well, winning by 6. She's lightly raced with some upside. A fast pace against these kind of horses might work against her because she's still trying to find her class level, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's how I felt about it too. She did run, okay last time though, because she was contesting that pace. Berna Breezy, sat it out, came and closed her down at the end. That filly came back and was kind of nowhere in the Fairgrounds Oaks in her next start. I don't know. I feel like she is getting better. I didn't really want to bet her in this race, although she's probably going to be a good price for good connections.
Ujiri makes sense. She's 3-time stakes placed, a couple of graded stakes placings. She was beaten by Dreamlith in the Goldenrod. In the Honeybee, I think she had a couple of excuses. One, the name Secret Oath, who probably is 10 lengths better than Ujiri on her best day. And 2, she got caught up in a wicked pace duel with Optionality, who's a fast horse, got the better of that one and held on for third. Maybe she doesn't have to expend as much energy up front this time.
That's fair. Again, we already sort of talked about the Goldenrod a little bit. Not a race that I like that much. And to me, out of between her and Dream Lilith, I guess I would just rather have Dream Lilith out of that race. I hear what you're saying last time. I don't know if I necessarily agree that pace was really fast. I guess it was fast enough, Dan. Her big excuse last time is just that she was in against a horse who's way too much for her, and she doesn't have to face her in here.
Hearty Constitution will be making only her 3rd lifetime start. It'll be her first start out of the maiden ranks, and she's going to have to stretch out around 2 turns. So she's got some things working against her. I like the way she won her maiden race over a wet track on February 26th. Let's watch that effort right now. And I'm going to give her some extra points, Mike, because she was kind of hung out 4 wide all the way from late backstretch through the turn into the stretch, and she eventually wears this field down. Now, I've given you some good things. Maybe some things to be concerned about is that this field hasn't come back very strong just yet, and she's a half-sister to Chateau, a very fast sprinter that probably doesn't want to step past 6.
Yeah, that concerns me about her too, although she's not, doesn't look like the same kind of horse as Chateau, who's just all speed. This filly's not that, and she did, rally a little bit to win last time. I liked her maiden win. That race we just watched, I thought she ran well there, and I thought she earned that win. It didn't, sort of fall into her lap. So, that's a good thing. It earned a solid figure as well. If she stretches out, she can play with these horses.
Bubble Rock completes the field. Brad Cox trains Bubble Rock, who is the only horse to have defeated Marissa's Lady so far. That horse came back to win again at Turfway with an 88 buyer after Bubble Rock won the Cincinnati Trophy over Turfway's Polytrack. Now, she's good on Polytrack. She's good on turf. What do you think of this pedigree on dirt? You got More Than Ready. They can certainly turf. You got Giants Causeway. They can certainly turf.
Yeah, I saw mostly turf in this pedigree, but we'll see. I don't mind them taking a shot here to see if she's a dirt horse especially against this field, Dan. And when she just won a race, going the 2-turn mile, I think those are all positives. Not necessarily the kind of horse I wanted to bet in here at the 3-1 morning line, but I wouldn't be that surprised if she was competitive.
With Secret Oath running later on in the afternoon, with Ida being scratched, it leaves the race somewhat wide open. And we're going to take a look at our top picks for the Grade 3 Fantasy Kentucky Oaks Prep. Magic Circle, down from New York, distance not a problem, versatile running style. When I say versatile, I don't mean a horse that's going to be coming from 100 out of it. She'll be in the thick of things when they turn for home, I would believe.
Yeah, I would too. That's one of the reasons I took her. I don't know, Dan. I just really struggled with this race. I couldn't really get to the outsiders stepping up. I didn't necessarily love any of the, stakes class horses so far either. I just slightly preferred Magic Circle to Dream Lilth, but they were the two horses I couldn't really get away from.
Hearty Constitution is going to be my top selection. She's got to step up, but she's going to be a price in this race. I think she fits. Mike's going Magic Circle. I'm going Hearty Constitution. It's the Grade 3 Fantasy at Oaklawn. Good luck.